Good morning. It's December 13th, and this is your daily brief in climate change. Here's everything you need to know. The COP28 climate conference in Dubai focuses on the issue of fossil fuels. Some countries are pushing for the phase-out of fossil fuels, while others are resisting. The latest draft of the global stocktake has removed references to oil and gas, making fossil fuel cuts optional and weakening the potential for meaningful action. The author calls for a fast and just phase-out of all fossil fuels to meet the goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees C. The article emphasizes the need for adaptation measures and a global goal on adaptation, as well as increased funding. The author urges progressive states and activists to advocate for the phase-out of fossil fuels and tangible outcomes on adaptation. The piece stresses the global consequences of inaction and the need for collective action, reminding negotiators that they are being watched worldwide. A recent Stanford University study warns that wildfires can convert a benign form of chromium into a carcinogenic type. The study found high levels of hexavalent chromium, a hazardous metal, in burn sites in California's North Coast. First responders and nearby communities are at the highest risk of exposure to toxic chromium-6. The toxic chromium-6 may persist after the fires due to strong winds. Wearing masks at burn sites and using tools to predict and limit exposure to metallic pollutants is beneficial. Fire-induced chromium poses a risk of entering waterways or groundwater. Another study reveals that wildfire smoke creates carcinogenic soil and ash, increasing the risk of certain cancers. Areas with metal-rich geologies and chromium-containing materials are more likely to have higher concentrations of carcinogenic chromium. With worsening wildfires due to climate change, the presence of carcinogenic chromium could become a more significant concern. Wearing N95 masks when exposed to wildfire smoke is advised. These findings highlight the potential health impact of dangerous metals in wildfire smoke and the need to address climate change. Tropical Cyclone. Freddy caused devastating damage in Blantyre, Malawi, displacing over 500,000 people and killing more than 1,400. Survivors like Christina Mafepo resort to illegal tree cutting for survival, worsening deforestation and subsequent mudslides. Malawi loses 33,000 hectares of forest each year due to illegal tree cutting. The UN climate negotiations, COP28, established a $656 million fund to assist countries affected by climate-fueled disasters. Concerns exist about the appropriate distribution of these funds and whether they will reach local grassroots groups. Institutions like the International Institute for Environment and Development advocate for quick access to grants for these groups. Survivors hope that funds will go directly to community organizations like the Better World charitable organization to assist in rebuilding lives. There is a voiced need for relocation to safer areas due to the increasing intensity of storms caused by climate change. Emissions from wildfires in the western U.S. are reversing air quality gains made over the past 2 decades. The trend of decreased fine particulate pollution has reversed since 2010 due to more frequent and destructive wildfires influenced by climate change. This could lead to western U.S. air quality regressing to levels seen 25 years ago within the next 3-5 years. The decline in air quality is linked to an estimated additional 670 premature deaths annually in the West. Air quality trends may also be shifting outside the West, as seen when smoke from Canadian wildfires reached the East Coast. The study advises prioritizing climate change mitigation, wildfire prevention, and enhancing smoke and air quality predictions to reduce exposure. A new report indicates global tipping points due to human-induced climate change are being reached, causing severe disruptions to Earth's major systems. 5 major tipping points are identified, including ice sheet melting and mass reef die-offs, due to current levels of warming. If global temperatures exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, 3 more tipping points could be reached, including forest and mangrove deterioration. The report acknowledges the impact of positive societal tipping points, such as the expansion of renewable energy technologies. The urgent need for positive change is emphasized, as carbon emissions continue to damage the environment. Recommended actions include phasing out fossil fuels, and increasing adaptation to climate losses to mitigate the risks posed by the tipping points. This has been your daily brief in climate change. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates at www.brief.news. And for more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit www.brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.